wouldn't work. Kept telling me I couldn't detect audio. Let's see. Tell maybe my mic went out on the phone. Who knows? Wouldn't surprise me. September 3rd. Sick as a dog. Been sleeping all day. Gotta work tomorrow. Hopefully I feel a little bit better than this shit. I feel like shit. What is it? Is it coronavirus? What is it? Thank God for Dayquil. Takes the edge off at Dayquil. Thank God. Because it sucks. Sucks ass, boy. Anyway, there's a lot to discuss. There's a lot of retard shit going on today. They're still bitching about the Gold Star families inviting Trump to the gravesite. They're upset about it. Apparently, well, there were other gravestones in the background, and that's disrespectful. It's just, they don't have anything to say, bro. They don't have a line of attack. I keep hearing about how it's a close election, and Kamala's doing great, and everything's great, and I'm just like, I don't know what y'all are looking at, bro. Maybe it's just because I'm real. Like, I'm too real. Like, I don't bullshit myself. I'm aware that she can win, but that's just because y'all are stupid. I just don't understand why you'd vote for her. It's just like people keep telling me, oh, J.D. Vance was a terrible selection for vice president. And then I say, based on what? Why do you say that? And they got nothing. They got nothing. Well, he said Trump was Hitler. He said that in 2016 before Trump became president. You know, a lot of people didn't like Trump in 2016 that changed their mind. So, and he's literally done entire interviews where he talks about this. I mean, this is not some secret. So, it's been addressed. I'm sorry you don't take the time to go hear what he's got to say about it. But I did, and it made total sense to me. So, now you can assume he's just lying. Yeah, I mean, I guess. You just want to assume everybody's lying, I guess. I don't know. Why would he run with Trump if he hates Trump? You know, people change their mind. You know, people, in 8 years, you can change your mind. I know a lot of you kids don't understand changing your mind and changing your ways and stuff, but that's because you're like 20 years old, so you don't really even understand life. You don't understand you're going to get to a point in your life where the stuff you like to do right now, you're not even going to do it anymore. You don't even get it. You're not going to understand that your opinions can change. And why would you even care about that? Why would you care that J.D. Vance, so secretly he doesn't like Trump? Okay, well, why do you care? It's just so weird. They're just obsessed with J.D. Vance. They keep telling me how awful he is, but they don't have any examples of it. They have nothing on the guy. They're just saying that shit. It's so funny when you tell a guy to elaborate, he can't on anything he says. When you're like, all right, expand on that. No, well, I don't know. I mean, how can you guys even like him? He attacked Trump. Like what? Literally, I'm like, what is it about J.D. Vance? You say he's a bad candidate. What is it about him? Well, he said that about Trump. Okay. How does that make him a pig? Y'all got nothing, man. I've never seen it like this. I've never seen y'all with like nothing. You literally have no line of attack. It's crazy. And then you're like thinking you're dominating, you're winning. I mean, for you to win this election, it would prove the country is just so fucking retarded that there is really no saving it. There isn't. Trump loses this election, this country is stupid as fuck. There's no debate to have. That's why that guy was getting clowned so hard in that Twitter space. It wasn't because there was a bunch of people in there. It was because he was saying the most outlandish, retarded shit. And we're just to a point where nobody's buying it. I told you 4 years ago things were getting so bad you couldn't lie about it. I said that many times. Y'all told me I was coping about losing. Okay. Well, here we are. Here we are now where you lie every day and it doesn't work and it's getting frustrating. You're frustrated about it. I can see it. Like your lies ain't working like they used to. People just ain't buying it anymore. You keep trying to convince people Trump's this horrible guy and people's like, well, I had more money when he was president. And then you're like, no, you didn't. Don Lemon's telling some guy, no, you didn't. So now we've reached a level of fantasy that is not healthy where you're straight up denying reality. You're telling other people what their bank account was when Trump was president, or you're telling them it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You can keep doing it, but I don't see how that works. This is one thing you can't lie about. I can't lie about the price of shit. Keep telling you this. Quit trying it. They do it every day. They're like, oh, everything's fine. Kamala said the prices went down. Or no, it was Biden's press secretary said the prices had been going down. Well, that's not true. How can you lie? Like, how do you think they really think you're stupid? That's why they're trying that. It's an IQ test. This election is a true IQ test for the nation. Like, you can't debate with these people anymore because the stuff they're saying is just so ridiculous that it's not even worth debating. It's just, you laugh at them. They're meant to be clowns. They're meant to be ridiculed and made fun of because these people lack any intelligence. I mean, they have proven it over the last 8 years that they have no intelligence. They are very naive and gullible people. They fall for every news story on TV. This is the final test. Do you vote to raise your gas prices and food prices and make your life worse? Do you vote for that? Or do you vote for someone that might be able to deal with some of that and make things a little bit easier for you? That's the IQ test. There's no reason to believe Kamala Harris is going to make anything better. She's made everything worse the last 4 years. She owes all of Biden's failures. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Now, I get some of you are you very stupid and you just can't accept reality, but that's the cold hard truth of the situation you find yourself in. You guys, the Democratic Party is in bad shape. I told you electing Biden in 2020 was a massive mistake because had Trump won, you'd be riding that Trump hate wave. You could keep riding it, and then Trump will be gone in 2024, and then you could have ran somebody else, maybe like a Newsom or something, I don't know. But and now you're stuck with this Biden, and they had to run Kamala because if they didn't get all that donor money. So that was the whole reason they ran Kamala. They didn't want to run Kamala, but that's how it's got to be. They want to use 90 million or whatever they had sitting in a bank account that only Biden could use, and since Harris is part of the administration, she can use it too. So that's just the way it had to be. That's why they went with Kamala. They didn't want to go with Kamala. They didn't have no fucking choice. And if you notice, there's a lot of Democrats. Gavin Newsom's one of them who's taking shots at Kamala. Kamala, I'm telling you, she's probably going to lose. She's a terrible candidate. She's unlikable. She's not authentic. The voters can see it. She's just not authentic. That's why Trump was going at a race and everything, because he's just trying to paint a picture that this is a very fake person. You can't trust anything she says. I mean, She's black in front of this crowd. She's Indian in front of this crowd. She acts white in front of this crowd. That's the whole point of bringing up those accents she does and everything. The whole point of it is to paint her as inauthentic. Now you've got these low IQ liberals who can't wrap their head around why they attack them on this stuff, but I'm explaining it to you. You can choose to continue to be dumb, or you can now you have the knowledge. This is politics. This is the game. This is the game that's being played. Some of you are too dumb to even be talking about politics, quite frankly, because you don't even understand what it is. You don't get it. Everything's by design. I mean, her wanting to sit at the debates because Trump's taller than her wanting the mic's unmuted so she can make little catty fucking remarks and shit because she thinks that helps her get votes. I mean, why would you even vote on something like that? It doesn't make sense. She has no policies. She's just a mess. Well, she can still win, but she wins based off the stupidity of the country. She doesn't win off just being a great candidate. If she wins, it's a testament to the media and how good they are at brainwashing people. This is why when you ask people to talk about her, like, what has she done? And they got nothing to say because there is nothing to say. She hasn't done anything. Her whole campaign is astroturfed. I mean, if you would have asked everybody 4 months ago how they felt about Kamala, they'd have told you, she's nothing. They didn't like her. Nobody liked her. She's one of the most unlikable politicians in the country. And now suddenly everyone's going to vote for her. They're not, though. Liberals are going to vote for her because she's a liberal, but liberals don't decide the election. Independents ain't sold on her. She's too fake. And she can't run on fixing everything. She's in power right now. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Why do you think Trump lost? Trump's bitching about COVID. Remember, he was bitching about the riots, bitching about the lockdowns, bitching, but he wasn't doing anything about it. And when you're a voter sitting at home, you're thinking, you're the fucking president. Why don't you do something about it? Now, maybe he can't do something about it because of states' rights and this and that. But you got to understand, the average voter doesn't know nothing about that. They don't know shit about anything. So they just look at it as, well, you're the fucking president. Do something. You got to have some power to do something. And when you sit there powerless, just bitching on Twitter, you just look like a clown. That's why he lost. So she can't turn around and do the same thing where it's like, oh, I'm going to get the prices down. Do it right now. This is what I don't understand. And then dude's like, well, Biden won't let her. Why not? What the fuck? Like, if they really could get those prices down, then why don't they do it right now? If anything else, just to win votes. Just to win the election. They can't. They can't even fake it. Don't you get it? They can't even fake do it for a couple of months to get your vote. They can't fucking do it. They have no plan to do it. They're the ones that fucked everything up. So you have no reason to vote for these people. Like I said, there is no debate to be had. This is a very easy election. This is very simple. You're either retarded as fuck, voting for Kamala, or you have some level of sense. And if you have any level of sense, you're going to take your chances with Donald Trump. And people will say, well, it doesn't matter who the president is. You know, that's another fucking myth, too. It clearly fucking matters. You're telling me the price of gas don't matter to you? Like, people are stuck on bullshit, man, with the things they say. I mean, they talk to you like you're stupid. Of course, 99% of your life comes down to you, of course. But there's that 1% that these politicians make it even harder. It wasn't you that devalued the goddamn dollar. I mean, the gaslighting and the bullshit to defend these Democrats. It's just ridiculous. And you would never do it for Republicans. You all never do it for the Republican candidate. You only shill like this for Democrats, but then you say, "Oh, I'm not a Democrat. I'm an independent." You're a fucking Democrat. Just like that guy on Twitter. Oh, I'm bipartisan. Have you ever voted for a Republican? No. But I would have voted for Reagan, but I was too young. Oh. Well, how convenient. And then it's like, well, look at my options. Look at the Republican candidates I had. Okay, well, what the Democrats candidates suck too. You're telling me you was excited to vote for Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton? I'll give you Obama. I can give you that one. You was excited for Al Gore. Come on, man. John Kerry. Come on, man. You're hyped up for Kamala? Come on, brother. Like, these are grown men sitting in their house. Every time I get one of them on a Discord or something, I die laughing because it's like a grown man sitting in his house. That guy was sitting at work the other day. Grown man sitting at work. Shilling for Kamala on company time. Shilling for. In typical liberal, I make money, so it doesn't matter who the president is. I'll be fine either way because I'm rich. Oh. Notice it's always these guys that got money that tell you to vote for Democrats. You ever notice that? They say the Republican Party is the party of people with money, but I've noticed that the Democrats, it's always some guy, they always say shit like that. Well, I'm going to be fine either way, but you're poor, so you need Kamala. And then I'm poor, and I'm telling you, no. You're insulated from the bad policies. You got extra money laying around. You make so much money, you're insulated from it. But still, you're retarded because, hell, you'd make more money with Trump. You got to understand, some of these guys got such a hatred for Republicans that it clouds their judgment. They literally will make less money, pay more for gas. They'll do all these things because they have this unhinged hate for Republicans. And it's always some brainwashing behind it. You talk to them, it's like, well, the Republicans are racist. And as a black man, how can... Oh, give me a break. Give me a break. As if the Democrats are friends to black people. Stop. Like when you ask people why vote Kamala, they give you some bullshit. It's always some bullshit. Oh, it's the first woman, or we need a woman. Or, we save democracy. It's always some fake shit. If you ask people why they vote for Trump, the border, the war, the economy, it's real shit. So I get y'all trying to paint this picture. The Trumpers are stupid. But you're wrong. You all are stupid. Like the shit y'all was hyped up that Beyonce might show up at the convention. That's the only reason y'all was watching. See Beyonce. She didn't even show up. I mean, who wants to be part of this shit show with the Democrats? Who wants to tie their brand to that shit? To Kamala. It's a fucking joke. And Tim Walz, you want to talk about J.D. Vance? Motherfucker still can't tell me what's wrong with J.D. Vance. He's just weird. What's weird about him? Don't you put a dress on and prance around your house, faggot? What's weird about him? Y'all nerds don't get to call nobody weird. You're weird as hell. You're weird motherfuckers. J.D. Vance is just some normal guy. He's just a normal guy. He's just a totally normal guy. It's just your average white dude. They're like, he's weird. And you're like, why is he weird? They don't have anything. They're like, well, he fucked a couch. They made it up. They just made that up. Like he was so normal, they had to make up shit to make him look weird. Meanwhile, Tim Walz is weird. He prances around on the stage. Got a very flamboyant energy about him. And he lied about his military service. Like, he's just a weird dude. He is a weird dude. Something off about him. That clip of him pulling his son, like grabbing his son, yanking him and shit. I mean, who would do that in front of a crowd when you're running for vice president? The fact that he would even do that in front of the crowd, it's crazy. It really shows a lack of judgment, because even if you do that shit in private, the fact that you would do it in public and think it's no big deal shows a lack of judgment. Like, you're not thinking straight. I need a guy that doesn't do shit like that in front of a camera. That means he has a level of judgment. You understand what I'm saying? He even if he does it in private, he knows how bad it looks. There's a level of intelligence there when you're like, well, I better, there's cameras. To do it in front of the camera shows a lack of intelligence, a lack of judgment. Like, he don't give a fuck, bro. Like, he don't give a fuck. He just said, fuck it. Get over here. If Trump pulled a kid's arm like that, my God, they would say that the arm was dislocated. They would say he was trying to kill the kid. And the shit he did where he let the people burn the town down. All that shit. His wife wants to smell the burning tires. I mean, who votes for this shit? That's what I'm saying. How are you so scared of the Republican? I mean, what is it? You gotta understand. To a normal human being, they're worried about crime and the economy and war and practical things. Like, you're voting for Democrats and they're causing all these problems, but you're scared of like the Handmaid's Tale or some shit. Like, these people are in such a fantasy. Or Republicans will win, they'll take away abortion. The fact that you're willing to live in a crime-ridden slum and be broke as fuck, and you're willing to do all that because you gotta have the right to abortion. Maybe look in the mirror and realize you're a fucking clown. I mean, seriously. Jesus Christ. What happened to having some balls? The fact that abortion is this big issue just shows the country's collapsing. That's the biggest sign, really, that everyone's so worried about this. Everyone's willing to throw everything else out the window for that. They just gotta have that. It's the gayest shit. Or if they had kids, they would be able to go party. Who gives a fuck? Haven't you motherfuckers partied enough? Aren't you partied out? How hard is it to use birth control? Jesus Christ. How hard is this? I mean, they'll vote for Tim Walz because he says we gotta have abortions, and they're like, oh, he may for fuck everything else. Then I'll pay $5 a gallon. Fuck it, fuck it. Oh, because I could get an abortion. Oh God, they're so adult. They're so grown up. God, where do you begin? They're crying about Hulk Hogan again. It never ends. Bro, there is something to be said about letting shit go and moving on. I mean, we as a society really got to start practicing this. You've got to move on. I mean, they still crying about Hogan, bro. They still crying about that shit. It been like 10 years, and they still crying about it. At what point do you shut the fuck up about it? And Hulk Hogan made a goddamn good point. And it triggered these fucking nerds, but it's so fucking true. I've never even thought about this. But he said it. Some nerd was on Twitter like, it's not a good point. It's a great point. The point he made about Chris Benoit is a great fucking point. You motherfuckers. Chris Benoit killed his whole fucking family. And y'all say, separate the wrestling from the man. Put him in the Hall of Fame, all this. Tons of people say that. There's a ton of people that feel that way. Not everybody, but there is a large group of people that feel that way. And so Hogan said, hey, I made mistakes. What about me? Fuck. I just said the N-word. I didn't kill nobody. I didn't kill my child and my wife. I just said a word in the privacy of my... By the way, in the privacy of his own home, secretly recorded. He wasn't running down the street saying it to black people, screaming it at them. He was in his house, secretly recorded. Imagine if we recorded the things you said in private in your home. I bet we'd find some things on you. I bet we'd get some clips on you. And then you'd be saying, hey, man, that ain't right to record me in my home. This is fucked up. And it would be fucked up to secretly record you in your goddamn home. That would be fucked up. But it was all right to do to Hogan, wasn't it? Just because you didn't like what he said, so that made it all right. No, it wasn't all right. What we all should have said is, hey, man, cares what he said in his house. What is this? It's like he confessed to a murder or some shit. I mean, what is this shit? If you don't like the man, you don't have to like the man. But, God, we get it. We get it, man. This idea that he can't be on TV anymore, he can't do this or he can't do that. For what? Because he said a word in his house? Jesus. Get over it. Or don't. Just, we don't care. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody gives two fucks. And he's 100% right about Chris Benoit. Let me play this clip. 100% right here. And I know it triggers you nerds. I know it bothers you when a guy makes a good point. And y'all look dumb. But that's not my problem.
It's my personal. I've made some major mistakes in my personal. If Chris Benoit can do the crap he did and the fans still love him, they're very forgiving. I've made some major mistakes in my personal life, and they're very, very forgiving, but they forgive you. But if Chris Benoit can do the crap he did and the fans still love him, they're very forgiving. I've made some major mistakes.
So if you can say separate the wrestling from the man, Chris Benoit, then you got to do the same with Hogan. You got to do exactly the same with Hogan. Killing your family is worse than saying the N-word. Can we agree on that? If you disagree on that, I'm here to inform you, you got something wrong with you. Something wrong with you. You've lost the plot. They brainwash you into thinking the N-word worse than killing your own kid. They're still crying about Logan Paul. Good God. See, they found another Chinese spy working for the Democrats. That's the third Chinese spy that's been undercover in the Democrats' offices. Just keeps happening, you know? And by the way, jumping all over Hogan is so, I mean, it's so pathetic. Y'all need to grow some balls. Y'all need to grow some fucking balls. You're not even offended by what he said. You don't even care. So he can't come out on WWE ever again because, I mean, that's silly. Remember they took him out of the Hall of Fame? They put him back in. Silly. It don't matter what Hogan said. He's still a Hall of Famer. He's still one of the greatest wrestlers to ever live. Get over it. Get over it. Well, he didn't do a lot of moves. He didn't do this. It's not what wrestling's about. That's my problem with these people, bro, is that they want to like rewrite history when they don't like somebody. So suddenly Donald Trump becomes a failure. Suddenly Hogan is not important at all. He wasn't a great wrestler, none of these things. It's just silly, bro. Silly. Just because you don't like somebody doesn't mean they immediately become dog shit at their job or they never did anything. It's just because you don't like them anymore. Well, this guy sucks now. It's not how it works. Migrant crime is up. Hey, leave that border open.
Robbery and before show, migrant crime is making up the majority of arrests in New York City. In fact, police report as many as 75% of the people they've arrested in Midtown Manhattan for assault, robbery, and domestic violence are illegal migrants, according to the New York Post. 60% of those arrests of migrants are in Queens.
Now you see why the Democrats were panicking when they were sending they're still sending illegals to the liberal cities, the sanctuary cities. See why they were mad about it? Because all this stuff has been happening in these other towns where they've been sending these illegals. Texas, Arizona, they've been dealing with this shit. And the blue states have been insulated from it. The blue cities ain't had to deal with it. So they started shipping them there. And now look at it. 75% of the assault charges are illegal aliens. See a problem yet? You know, maybe Trump was right when he said they're emptying out their prisons and their mental institutions and sending them here. Maybe that wasn't a racist thing to say. Maybe that was just the truth. Remember that first thing Trump said? They got them all triggered. They're sending the rapists. They're sending all that. And then they're sending some good people too, you know. Some good people are showing up. That was a true statement. What was wrong with that? It was the most honest statement. He even said, "There's probably some good people coming too." Of course, I mean, logically. If millions pour in, there has to be some that come in. They just want to try to blend in, and they're happy to be here, and they don't want to rock the boat. I bet there's tons of people that don't want to rock the boat. Some people have sense. You got to understand. Some people get here legally, and they know they've hit the lottery, and they're going to lay low. They're not going to commit crimes. They're going to lay low because they're in the country, and that's better than wherever they came from. Then you got other people who are criminals, and they're just going to fucking go wild. And they won't even deport these people. Some football player in San Francisco got shot by a guy who got arrested 3 days prior for a gun. They let him back out. Some illegal alien walking around with a gun. If you're here illegally in this country and you're carrying around a gun, that should be enough to get you out of here, I think. It should be enough to say, I mean, if you get arrested one time, you commit one crime, it should be enough to say, all right, you got to go. You ain't even supposed to be here anyway, but we've let you come in. You've broken all the rules, and we're letting you be here, and now you want to break more rules? You got to go. Like, there has to be a limit to being a nice person and just letting everything slide. It's just ridiculous. None of it should be sliding, quite frankly. Every single one of them should be deported because you need to have a secure border. There's a system for coming here. There's people that come here legally, and you're slapping them in the face by letting all these people just pour over the border and not have to go through the same process. And they're like, well, that process needs to be sped up. It takes too long. No, it doesn't need to be sped up. Doesn't matter how long it takes. Everybody in the world can't move here. I mean, I don't understand why Americans are so fixated on saving everybody else on the planet. They're so fixated on what we got to make it so people can come here faster. Why? Why do you care about that? Why are you focused on that? How does that benefit your life in any way? Oh, you can virtue signal. That's what it is. You virtue signal. See, that's just a fancy thing to say. They don't really believe it. That's just some nice shit they say. Well, we need to speed up the illegal immigration. And since it's not fast enough, then you got to let people come here illegally. They just want people to have a better life. These are just nice people with their families coming for a better life. Yeah, that guy's got face tattoos, but don't worry about that. Don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge this Mexican guy with face tattoos. He's a nice guy. Let him in. Let him in. Let him in. Then they tell you some story about, I knew a guy with face tattoos. He was a nice guy. I used to work with him. You can't judge a book by its cover. Well, this time you can because that guy's in a gang. He's a gang member. Those tattoos on his face are gang tattoos. There's a whole police report about it you can read. You're out of your mind letting that guy in. You should be terrified when that guy comes in. You should be going, what the fuck? I mean, you people literally lost the plot, I'm telling you. You've lost the fucking plot. When will you come to your senses and realize it ain't worth it? All this virtue signaling ain't worth it. You don't have to keep letting gang members into the country. You don't have to. Find something else to virtue signal about. Let this one go. Like, remember they were holding the mass deportation signs at the conventions? And they were all been ashamed about that. What's wrong with deporting all these illegal aliens? Why is that a bad thing? Well, they'll be killed if they're sent back to their countries. Huh, why is that? Have you ever thought to ask why that is? Why are they going to kill them when they come back? What did they do in their country? They get off the plane and get a bullet. What they do over there? I mean, just send all these people back. It's not sustainable. Drives your wages down. They love talking about these corporations, but they don't care about these corporations hiring illegal labor and using that. Oh, they don't care about all that. Remember when DeSantis passed that law in Florida, and then all the construction sites was empty, all the illegal workers couldn't show up, and the liberals were like, "Oh, you see, like, yeah, you see the problem? Too many goddamn illegal workers taking all the jobs." Did they say Americans won't do those jobs? Yeah. There's no Americans that build houses and stuff and put roofs on it. You're fucking stupid. Plenty of dudes like that. They're just not going to work for the wages that the illegals will work. Hence why the illegals get the work. If you remove the illegals, there's only one option to do the work. Thus, you got to increase your wages. I mean, you guys are all for workers being paid for these greedy corporations, but that's why I can't take liberals serious, because their ideas conflict with each other. Like, leave the border wide open, but we need higher wages for the workers. Okay, well, leaving the border wide open decreases our wages. If I got this whole illegal workforce that'll work for cheaper, why wouldn't I tap into that? You know, maybe they work under the table. It's, you know, there's taxes. A lot of that shit going on. But you got a virtue signal. So you got to pretend you care about these migrants and shit. You don't give a fuck. Nobody actually gives a fuck. But it sounds nice. You know, it sounds nice to pretend to care about this shit. To pretend to care about everybody coming here and having a better life. But who really gives a shit? Not everybody in the world can move to America. That doesn't make sense. And as we see, when you let all these people in, it's caused a lot of problems. A lot of problems. A lot of crime, a lot of problems. Probably because when a guy comes here legally, he has to go through a process, and most criminals ain't going to go through that process, whereas a decent person will. It's almost like these issues were solved a long time ago, and retards got elected and fucked it all up. Like, people figured out who to let in their country and who not to a long time ago. They figured out a system. Wasn't hard. I mean, that's why it should take time to go through the process, because a criminal's looking for a loophole. A bad person's not going through the process, doing the right thing. They're looking for a way out, looking for a way around it. Eventually, though, you're going to get it to where nobody's going to want any kind of immigration, because they're going to get sick of this shit. People in New York are already getting tired of it. That's the whole strategy about sending the illegals there, is the hopes that they can steal some votes away from the Democrats by making these people live under this shit. Which is why this election's an IQ test, because you see what's going on in New York. It's a mess. Illegal. There's so many illegals now. So if those people still vote Democrat, they're dumb as a rock. Like, there's no way around it. They're so dumb. It's really an IQ test. Will you pass it or fail it? A vote for Kamala is a fail. If you stay home, vote for nobody, we'll give you a C. Vote for Trump's an A+. Like, things are never going to change until you start playing the two parties off each other. You got to learn to work the system. As a voter, you've got to learn that sometimes you're going to have to vote Republican. And maybe sometimes you might have to vote for a Democrat. You're going to have to vote for the better candidate. And you're going to have to stop rewarding failure. Kamala should lose because she's been a massive failure. Her administration's been terrible. So she should not be rewarded with victory. It's very simple. The more you reward failure, the worse things are going to get, because these people can't, if they can win elections without even trying, they can win it off stupid bullshit like having Beyonce show up or whatever dumb shit, pretending joy, their campaign's about joy, or we're going to be living under the Hunger Games or some dumb shit. If that's how they're going to win, I mean, y'all are stupid. And when Trump gets in there, if he doesn't clean things up and things don't get better, then in 2028, you shouldn't be looking to vote for whoever Trump endorses. It should be like, well, Trump didn't do what he said. He couldn't figure it out, so fuck him too. That doesn't mean run back to the arms of the Democrats, but stop rewarding this failure all the time. How you set the record for gas prices and win the election? Don't even make fucking sense. How do you let 20 million illegals pour over the fucking border? And you get the vote. So just know when you cast that vote, it's an IQ test. And bragging about voting for Kamala, man, you look dumb as shit. You get a G. A G's not even on there. It goes A to F, but if we see you on Twitter bragging about voting for her, you get a G. You're below the F. You're fucking stupid as fuck. Now I'll play this abortion clip. My God. Listen to this shit. Let me find this. Listen to this goof. It's like a female priest or something rambling on.
Here today. If Jesus were here today, he would be a clinic escort, distracting women from the hatred of the protesters, or an abortion doula, holding women's hands and offering support and love as they end their pregnancies. And I expect he would have a stern word for self-righteous legislators who use abortion as a political issue rather than showing compassion for the people seeking abortions. Today, on this Roe Sunday, I wanted to share some of the stories we have collected, because these are the sacred stories of women's lives. If Jesus were giving his sermon today, he might also have said, "Blessed are those who end pregnancies, for they will be known for their loving kindness." I have been pregnant 4 times. I have had 2 abortions, and I have 2 amazing children. Each of my reproductive decisions to have children and not to have children were sacred decisions because they reflect the moral responsibility of reproductive power that is part of our inheritance as human creatures. Each of you has a reproductive story. And given that 1/4 of American women will have an abortion by the age of 45, I imagine some of your reproductive journeys also include
Isn't that
abortion.
sad?
Blessed are those who end pregnancies, for they will be known for their loving kindness. Reimagining our theological understanding of abortion is essential to addressing the violence that is being done to people across the country in the name of Christianity. In the face of the rampant reproductive injustice in our society, what does God require of us? Amen. If Jesus were here today, if
So I'm
Jesus
supposed to believe.
These are illegal.
Oh,
These are
shit.
illegal Venezuelan immigrants, part of the Tren de Aragua gang.
I'm supposed to believe Jesus would encourage you to get an abortion. Like, what? Come on, Jesus Christ. Does that make any sense to anybody? Jesus is going to sit you down and say, yeah, kill the baby. God wants you to kill the baby. But God created the baby. Why would he want you to kill? You know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense. Jesus would say, hey, it'll be all right. Just have the baby. It's everything's going to work out. He wouldn't say, yeah, you can't kill it. He'd have a stern word for the people that are killing the babies and scaring the shit out of these women. Fear-mongering about having a baby. Like it's some awful thing. It's going to make life so, it's going to be so hard. Oh. It's actually not hard if you have the kid with a man and the man sticks around and y'all raise it together, and then it's not hard at all. You know what would make it less harder? Voting for Trump. Not paying $5 a gallon for gas and $500 for 10 items at the grocery store. That might help. That might make it a little bit easier for you to have the kid. You know what's funny? They're so against you having children. But they celebrate when these gay dudes adopt a child. They love that. But when a woman just naturally doesn't have a child, oh no. What about your career? What about this? What about that? 2 gay dudes though? Awesome, celebrated. An amazing thing. How dare you say a word about it? Well, these 2 guys are loving parents. People who push abortion are losers. Keep trying to explain this to people. They're not good people. They're losers. They're weird. Like somebody announced that they're pregnant, unless they were like raped in an alley somewhere or something, or their dad raped them or whatever, then you'd be like, oh my God, what the fuck? But other than that, suggesting an abortion is insane. It's insane. Anyway, it's time to go get food. I'm dying. I got COVID. I think I got the COVID. The COVID. Any final words for end the stream? Remember years ago, they were mad at Trump, that Gold Star guy, remember that? The Muslim dude? His son died in the war, Iraq or something, and remember he spoke at the convention, and Trump said something about him. I can't remember what it was. It wasn't that big of a fucking deal, quite frankly. But remember they said you can't say anything negative about a Gold Star family. Remember all that? You can't talk negative about people like that. And now look at them. Now look at them. They're saying they used their child's death as a political prop to help Trump get elected. Okay. Well, how's that any different from what that Muslim dude did with his son? He went to the DNC convention and used his son's death to campaign with it. How's that any different? How about this? How about this? If you lose your child, you can do whatever the fuck you want. How about that? If you want to, if you blame, whoever you blame for it, which your son was in the military. Your son died in Afghanistan due to the botched pullout from Biden. So yes, you got every right to be mad at Biden and Harris. You got every fucking right to want Trump to win the election. Especially if you feel like Trump would have been president, my kid wouldn't have died. That's a fair point. It's a damn fair point. It's very logical. You think those Taliban would have killed those soldiers if Trump was president? After he told them what would happen to them if they did? By the way, don't be surprised if Trump does something to those motherfuckers if he becomes president. Don't be surprised if you hear about a drone strike hitting that motherfucker's house or something. Because I think Trump's going to circle back around on these motherfuckers who thought they was slick. And they're terrified of this motherfucker winning. Don't you understand? All these scumbag motherfuckers are terrified. All these leaders around the world, they don't want him to be president. That's enough to make him president right there. That's enough for me. The fact that all these scumbags don't want him. They want Kamala. They walk all over her. Kamala ain't doing nothing. Good Lord. Like she's supposed to intimidate somebody. That's who you're sitting there to deal with Putin. Kamala. When you think about it, that's how far the Democrats have fallen. Like, look at their candidates. So you had Obama, Hillary, Biden. All right, people had some confidence that Obama could talk to other world leaders and shit. You may even have a little bit of confidence in Hillary. I mean, she murders people. She ain't no weak bitch. She kills motherfuckers. Then you got Biden, where it's like, yeah, maybe 30 years ago the motherfucker could hold his own in a meeting with these people, but now what the fuck? And now Kamala, who's just, come on, it's a joke. Like, their candidates keep getting worse and worse and worse. You a long way from Bill Clinton. You a long way. And the Republicans that went the opposite way. They're getting stronger candidate. Like, Trump's a strong. He doesn't seem weak. Biden was weak because he was old as fuck. And Kamala's just, what the fuck? I mean, you're putting your faith in that? Not to mention she's already vice president anyway, so. You can't even run with the illusion that, well, if she gets in there, she's really going to clean house. She's going to do this. She's going to do that. She's already in there. She's already in there. Trump's definitely getting the gas prices down. And he's definitely dealing with that border. That's two things right there that they ain't going to do. They're going to make those things worse. And if you get the price of gas down, that will help with the price of food. Don't you get it? If it costs less to fill the truck up and drive it across the country with the food, then you can reduce the prices of the food. Don't you understand? It's like I try to explain to an idiot. These grocery stores are trying to have low prices. Low prices entice people to come to the store and shop. That's why they have sales, you fucking idiot. It's not a selling point for a grocery store to have the highest prices unless you're looking for some like upscale shit. Where it's like, yeah, everything's expensive in here, but there's no poor people in here. Come in here. Most people ain't shopping there. Most people are looking for low prices. And you got grocery stores competing with each other. Like I told him, there's like 5-6 grocery stores around here. They're in competition with each other. And that's not even including dollar stores. They got groceries too. Fuck this price gouging going to attract customers. Well, all the CEOs met in a room and they all decided to up their prices at the same time. Just to fuck you over. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's a totally reasonable thing to think. Why wouldn't you think that? God, I gotta go get food. Kill me. I'll be back. I got $7 and change. I'm gonna figure out what to do with it. And I'll be back later. Goodbye.